Have you ever felt stuck because you have strong feelings for someone, like you just can't move on? A lot of people feel like they're trapped by their emotions and find it hard to let go. But here's some good news. You can change this, and it's possible to move forward. In this video, we'll share 10 helpful Stoic ideas that can teach you how to let go of someone emotionally. Why is letting go so important? Seneca once said, "A brave person is free." Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring about others. It means finding strength inside yourself and thinking clearly. In this video, we'll learn about Stoic wisdom that can help you feel emotionally free. By adding these habits to your daily life, you'll find real ways to let go of emotional attachments and feel calmer, focusing on what's truly important. Imagine breaking free from the thoughts that keep you stuck and feeling clear and focused. Stoic teachings will help you deal with your emotions using strength and wisdom. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have control over your mind, not outside events. When you understand this, you'll find strength." By following these ideas, you'll learn to treasure your inner peace more than what happens around you. Are you ready to let go of emotional ties and grow as a person? If yes, then this video is for you. We'll show you 10 Stoic habits that will help you handle letting go in a better way. Let's start by thinking about what really matters in our lives beyond just feeling calm. Join us as we explore these Stoic rules and work toward having a free and strong mind. If you liked this video and found it useful, please click the subscribe button and be part of our community for more great content. We'd love to hear from you, so leave a comment below. If you don't know what to write, you can simply type, "Emotional freedom starts now." Let's begin this journey to emotional freedom together. Rule number 1. Accept the natural course of events. In Stoicism, one of the most important lessons is accepting the natural flow of life. According to this philosophy, life follows a natural course of events that we can't always control. What often causes pain is our resistance to these changes, especially when it comes to emotional separations. The first rule for letting go is simple but hard. Accept things as they are, not how we wish they would be. When we get attached to someone, we often imagine that the relationship will last forever or that things will go the way we expect. But life has its own cycles, and both connections and separations are a part of being human. For the Stoics, accepting this reality is the first step toward finding peace. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic teachers, tells us that we should accept the events that happen as if we chose them. This doesn't mean we should stop caring or be passive, but that we should stop fighting what we can't change. When dealing with an emotional separation, this lesson encourages us to stop resisting the reality of change and instead welcome it with an attitude of acceptance. This idea doesn't just apply to the end of relationships, but also to how we deal with the expectations we create. Many times the pain we feel when we part from someone comes from the gap between what we hoped for and what actually happened. The belief that a relationship should last forever, or that the person should meet all our emotional needs, is what makes the pain worse. By accepting that things don't always go according to our plans, we free ourselves from a heavy emotional burden. In Stoicism, this acceptance is also tied to the idea that everything is always changing. Impermanence is a natural law of life. The Stoics remind us that nothing lasts forever. Not material things, not health, not relationships. This view isn't negative, but rather a way to help us appreciate the present without holding on to it too tightly. What exists today might not be here tomorrow, and that's part of the natural order. Practicing this kind of acceptance doesn't mean you should hide or ignore your feelings. In fact, the Stoics understood that it's natural to feel sad when you lose someone, but this sadness shouldn't control your life. Instead, you need to learn to look at the situation with a clear and calm mind, understanding that the end of a relationship isn't a failure, but a normal part of life. Accepting what happens also means letting go of the idea that you can control everything. Many times we believe that if we act a certain way, we can stop a relationship from ending or keep someone close to us. But, as the Stoics teach, we can't control how others act or feel, only how we respond. Once we understand this, we stop trying to control the situation and accept that life moves in its own way. This first step, acceptance, is the key to the whole process of emotional detachment. When you stop resisting and welcome change with peace, you take the first step toward finding inner calm even during a separation. Like a river that flows naturally without trying to change its direction, you can learn to move through life's changes without being overwhelmed by sadness or attachment. Accepting the natural flow of events is the start of true emotional freedom. Rule number 2, the path to happiness. Have you ever wondered why it seems so hard to be truly happy, especially when it depends on what others do or what happens around you? What if real happiness is already inside you and doesn't depend on anyone else? In this part, we'll look at how Stoic ideas can help you find happiness and how letting go of emotional attachments can bring a deeper, longer-lasting joy. So where does true value come from? Figuring this out can help us stop depending on other people or things for happiness and feel more emotionally free. Epictetus, a wise Stoic, once said, "Wealth isn't about having lots of stuff, but about wanting less." This means we should look inside ourselves to find our worth and happiness, not from others or what we own. This is important when it's time to let go of someone. It's not about cutting them off harshly, but understanding that the most important relationship you'll ever have is with yourself. True value comes from inside you, your character, your wisdom, and how you treat others. How often do we mistakenly think that we need someone in our life to be happy or to get their approval? Thinking this way keeps us stuck and makes our happiness depend on others. Imagine if a bird thought it needed permission to fly. We hold ourselves back in the same way. But if you realize the sky is always open for you, you'll see that your freedom has been there all along. This kind of self-reliance is freeing, showing us that our worth doesn't change based on what others think or if they are in our lives. Letting go of attachments doesn't mean pushing people away. It's about getting closer to who you truly are. By focusing on growing and becoming your best self, you free yourself from needing others to make you happy. It's like caring for a garden. You don't ask a flower to grow. Instead, you take care of the soil, water the plants, and trust that they will bloom. When you work on improving yourself, you create a garden that flourishes no matter who sees it or walks by. This care becomes a source of happiness that's strong and independent. So, how do we practice emotional detachment? It starts with knowing that you are complete, even if you don't get someone's approval. Your journey is about exploring your own sky and enjoying the freedom that comes from being independent when needed. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and growth. This doesn't mean closing yourself off to love and connection. It means keeping your emotions steady and grounded in yourself. Remember, your self-worth isn't like a puzzle with a missing piece from someone else. It's like a beautiful painting that's already complete, but always open to adding new colors from the world around you. Rule number 3, embrace the present moment. Do you often find yourself thinking a lot about things you did wrong in the past or worrying about what might happen in the future? Focusing on the present moment can help you stop being distracted by these thoughts and find peace inside. This idea comes from Stoic philosophy, which teaches us to fully enjoy the present, instead of getting lost in what happened before or what could happen later. Marcus Aurelius, a wise Stoic philosopher, said, "Stay in the present." This means we should pay attention only to what's happening right now. When you think about the past, it's like watching an old sad movie or wishing for moments that are already gone. Worrying about the future is like building a castle out of dreams, full of fears about things that might never happen. These habits can stop you from enjoying the present. Practicing mindfulness helps you stay focused on what's happening right. Now, mindfulness means paying close attention to what you're doing without judging it. It's about being fully present, whether you're eating, walking, or talking with a friend. Notice the small details, the taste of your food, the feeling of the ground under your feet, or the sound of someone's voice. By focusing on these things, you stay in the present and let go of past worries or future fears. Doing mindful activities every day can really help you stay in the moment. For example, meditation helps train your mind to focus on what's happening now. Simple breathing exercises can also... Rule number 3, embrace the present moment. Do you often find yourself thinking a lot about things you did wrong in the past or worrying about what might happen in the future. Focusing on the present moment can help you stop being distracted by these thoughts and find peace inside. This idea comes from Stoic philosophy, which teaches us to fully enjoy the present, instead of getting lost in what happened before or what could happen later. Marcus Aurelius, a wise Stoic philosopher, said, "Stay in the present." This means we should pay attention. Rule number 4, the power of detachment. Have you ever felt like someone else is controlling your emotions, almost like you're a puppet on strings? It's normal to realize how much we let others influence us because of the connections we have with them. This is why learning detachment is so important. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring about people or things. It means you learn how to keep your happiness and peace from being controlled by others. Why is detachment so helpful? Think about what the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said. We don't suffer because of what happens to us, but because of how we think about it. Detachment is about taking back control and remembering that while you can't control everything that happens, you can control how you respond. It's like this. When you hold on too tightly to people or situations, you let them control you. It's like giving someone else the remote control to your feelings, letting them decide how you feel. Their actions might decide if you're happy, sad, or even what choices you make. Detachment is like getting that remote control back and choosing your own channels. Imagine your feelings are like a kite. Each string tied to a person or situation represents a way your emotions can be pulled. If you hold on to too many strings or hold one too tight, the wind, which stands for things outside your control, can make the kite go all over the place. Stoicism teaches us to loosen our grip on these strings, knowing that while we can't control the wind, we can choose which strings to hold on to. This doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you become stronger and more steady. Understanding your attachments. To practice detachment, you need to first understand what or who you're really attached to. Imagine holding onto a thick rope tied to a heavy anchor. What is that rope attached to in your life? Is it the need for constant approval from others, or a relationship that seems to control your happiness? Think about why these things are so important to you. Are you scared of being alone or worried about losing something that feels important to your well-being? Understanding why you're attached is like finding the knots in that rope. Once you know where they are, you can begin to untie them. Finding joy and independence next. Focus on things that make you happy and fulfilled by yourself. Imagine exploring a beautiful garden where each flower represents something you enjoy, like a hobby or a passion. By taking care of these personal interests, you start to find happiness inside yourself. Focus on what you can control, your actions, your thoughts, and how you handle different situations. It's like steering your own boat on a calm sea, instead of being thrown around by the waves of things happening around you. By focusing on your own strength and values, you build a strong foundation of independence, embracing a new perspective. As you learn to let go, you start to see things in a new way. Imagine your life as a big open landscape, and the clouds are the things or people you're really attached to. As you practice detachment, you begin to see past those clouds, realizing that your real value doesn't depend on what's happening outside. Your worth is like a strong mountain, solid and unchanging, no matter what goes on around it. Understanding. This helps you move forward with clear thinking and confidence, living fully with a clear mind. Remember what Seneca said, "The brave person is truly free." Letting go doesn't mean you stop living your life. It means you live it even better, with a calm mind and a strong heart. By letting go of things you don't really need, you free yourself from what makes you feel heavy or stuck, and this gives you the freedom to be yourself. It's like taking off a heavy coat when the weather is warm. Once you get rid of what you don't need, you can move easily and enjoy the journey in front of you. If you're enjoying the content, don't forget to subscribe for more wisdom. We have every day here. Thanks, and let's go to the next number. Rule number 5, understanding attachment. Have you ever wondered why we hold on so tightly to people or things, even when it makes us unhappy? What makes us cling so hard, and how can we learn to let go? Understanding why we get attached is the first step to finding emotional freedom and true happiness. Let's explore this with some wisdom from Stoic philosophers. Attachment often comes from our ego. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "True wealth is not about having lots of things but wanting less. This means attachment comes from our desires and what we think we need. When we get attached to something or someone, it's often because we're looking for approval, safety, or a sense of identity from others. Think of a baby. They are happy and don't worry about their ego. But as we grow up, our ego starts to take over, and we begin clinging to people, things, or ideas. These attachments can distract us from understanding who we really are, which is someone who can find joy inside themselves. Have you ever felt that your happiness depends on what someone else thinks or whether they're around? This is a sign that your ego is driving your attachment. To start letting go, we first need to see these attachments for what they are, things our ego creates to feel safe or important. Ask yourself, why am I so attached to this person or situation? What fear or need is making me hold on? Understanding this is the first step to letting go. Now, imagine living with love, not ego. What if you could? Rule number 5, understanding attachment. Have you ever wondered why we hold on so tightly to people or things, even when it makes us unhappy? What makes us cling so hard, and how can we learn to let go? Understanding why we get attached is the first step to finding emotional freedom and true happiness. Let's explore this with some wisdom from Stoic philosophers. Attachment often comes from our ego. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "True wealth is not about having lots of things but wanting less. This means attachment comes from our desires and what we think we need. When we get attached to something or someone, it's often because we're looking for approval, safety, or a sense of identity from others. Think of a baby. They are happy and don't worry about their ego. But as we grow up, our ego starts to take over, and we begin clinging to people, things, or ideas. Rule number 6, seek inner peace, ataraxia. In the heart of Stoic philosophy lies the concept of ataraxia, which can be translated as inner peace or tranquility of mind. This state of unperturbed calm is the ultimate goal of the Stoic. Upon achieving ataraxia, a person becomes immune to external disturbances, including the emotional pain of a separation. Instead of being overwhelmed by feelings of loss, sadness, or resentment, one adopts a stance of serene acceptance, remaining unaffected by the fluctuations of life. When we go through an emotional separation, the mind often enters a state of turmoil. Our emotions swing between anger, sadness, regret, and the desire to reverse the situation. This internal whirlwind is a consequence of our tendency to cling to what is beyond our control, something that the Stoics constantly remind us to avoid. The pursuit of inner peace, according to Stoicism, begins with a deep understanding that our emotions are responses to judgments we make about events, rather than the events themselves. In other words, the emotional suffering we feel after a separation is not caused by the separation itself, but by how we interpret it. When we judge losing someone as unbearable, we inevitably feel pain. But if we alter this judgment, realizing that separation is part of the natural order of things and does not define our happiness, we can begin to lessen that suffering. A central point here is the cultivation of emotional self-sufficiency. Ataraxia is not achieved by depending on another person for comfort or validation. On the contrary, the Stoics believe that true peace is only possible when we find the source of our tranquility within ourselves. This involves understanding that our happiness and well-being cannot be contingent upon external factors, such as the presence or absence of a specific person. Another important aspect of ataraxia is the abandonment of unrealistic expectations. When we expect a relationship or a person to provide us with constant happiness, we are setting ourselves up for frustration. The Stoics teach us to cultivate realistic expectations and, most importantly, not to depend on external circumstances for our contentment. Emotional separation can be viewed not as a catastrophe, but as an opportunity to reconnect with oneself, developing a deeper relationship with one's own mind and heart. To achieve this inner peace, it is also necessary to practice indifference to things we cannot control. When we stop resisting reality and accept what life presents us with serenity, we avoid the emotional weariness that comes from trying to change the unchangeable. Emotional separation can be one of those inescapable realities, and the sooner we accept this, the faster we can begin to move toward inner peace. Cultivating ataraxia is not an instantaneous or easy process. It is a continuous journey of self-reflection, detachment, and practicing Stoic philosophy in all aspects of life. But over time, as you develop your ability to control your emotional responses and adopt a broader, more rational perspective, inner peace becomes an achievable reality. And when you reach this tranquility, the emotional highs and lows, including those resulting from separations, lose their power to disturb your balance. Emotional separation, viewed through the Stoic lens, ceases to be a source of profound suffering and transforms into a part of the natural flow of life, something that can be faced with wisdom and tranquility. True freedom, true peace, is not found in controlling the events around us, but in controlling how we react to them. And it is in this serenity that we find the path to ataraxia, the ultimate goal of all those who seek to live a virtuous life, aligned with Stoic teachings. Rule number 7, engage in self-care. When was the last time you did something just for yourself? Taking care of yourself is super important for feeling strong and independent. Think of self-care like building a cozy, strong house where you feel safe and happy. Just like you wouldn't ignore fixing something broken in your home, you shouldn't ignore what your body and mind need. Seneca, a smart philosopher, once said, "A healthy mind in a healthy body is the best way to be happy in this world." This means that taking care of both your body and your mind is the key to true happiness. Self-care is like taking care of a garden. You need to water the plants, pull out the weeds, and make sure they get enough sunlight. For your body, this might mean exercising regularly, which helps make you feel good by releasing chemicals called endorphins. For your mind, things like meditation or deep breathing can help you relax and feel calm. Don't forget about doing the things you love. These are like the bright flowers in your garden, whether it's painting, reading, gardening, or playing. Music. These hobbies make you feel happy and satisfied. They're not just fun, they help you feel joy from within, so you don't have to rely on others to feel good. Supportive connections, your friendly neighbors, spending time with friends, and family who support you is like having kind neighbors who are always there for you. Just like good neighbors who help you out when you need it and celebrate with you, supportive people bring joy and comfort into your life. These relationships make you feel like you belong and remind you that you're not alone. They give you a group of people who help you get through hard times and share the good ones. Building your self-care foundation. Self-care is like building a strong foundation for a house. Just like a solid base keeps a house standing, taking time for self-care creates a strong foundation for your overall well-being. It's not about ignoring others or being selfish. It's about taking care of yourself so you can handle life's ups and downs better. Think of self-care as making sure your personal foundation is sturdy, ready to support you through every storm and sunny day. Preparing for life's challenges. When you make self-care a priority, you become stronger and more resilient, like making the foundation of a house stronger so it can handle any kind of weather. This preparation helps you face life's challenges with confidence and grace. Just like a sturdy foundation keeps a house steady, your self-care routine helps you stay focused and balanced, no matter what happens in life. It's about building a strong base that allows you to deal with tough situations with a clear mind and a calm heart. Living a happy, independent life. When you pay attention to self-care, you're not just getting ready for tough times. You're also making sure you can live a happy and independent life. Think of your life as a well-built home where you feel safe and comfortable. Self-care helps you be ready for challenges and also enjoy and appreciate the good times. It keeps you grounded and true to yourself, so you can live a life that feels fulfilling and balanced. By taking care of yourself, you create a space where you can thrive, no matter what comes your way. Rule number 8, the illusion of control. Have you ever felt like your happiness depends on what someone else does or thinks about you? Do you sometimes believe that if you try hard enough, You can make your relationships and feelings turn out just right. Many people think they can control these things, but that's not true. Realizing this and letting go of that belief is very important for feeling free and happy on your own. Sometimes we believe we can control what happens around us and how others feel. This makes us care too much about what others think, which can lead to feeling overly dependent on them. As the wise Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This means that even though we can't control what happens to us, we can control how we respond. When we think we can control everything, we might put people on a pedestal and feel like we need their approval to feel good. This way of thinking isn't true and can make us feel like we need something we can't reach. But if we stop believing this false idea, we can understand that everyone is just as human and vulnerable as we are. No one is better or more important than anyone else. To let go of this false belief, start by realizing that many things we think we can control are actually out of our hands. This can be surprising, but also freeing. When we accept that we can't control what others do or feel, we can focus on what we can control, our own thoughts, actions, and personal growth. By looking inside ourselves, we can build confidence and strength. For example, instead of seeking approval from others, remind yourself of your own special qualities. Know that your worth doesn't depend on what others think. This connects to another Stoic teaching from Marcus Aurelius. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Another helpful thought is to believe that there are plenty of good things, like love and happiness, available for everyone. When you stop worrying about losing one specific person or outcome, you open yourself up to new opportunities and possibilities. In relationships, this means you can love without being too attached. It helps you enjoy your connections while keeping your own sense of worth and independence. Remember, emotional detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It means you understand that your happiness doesn't rely on anyone else. By following these Stoic ideas, you build strong emotional strength and learn to handle life's surprises with calm. Let go of the false idea of control and accept that true power comes from within yourself. Rule number 9, detachment in practice. Have you ever found it hard to move on from past experiences or relationships, feeling stuck and worried about what might happen if you let go? Many people hold on tightly to things, even if they hurt, because they're scared of the unknown. But what if letting go could lead to something better? Let's explore how to practice letting go using ideas from Stoic philosophy. As Epictetus wisely said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. This idea can really help when it comes to emotional attachment. Are you ready to let go of the past and make space for new opportunities? Imagine holding onto a rope so tightly that your hands start to hurt. You're afraid to let go because you don't know what will happen. The truth is, letting go doesn't mean you'll fall. Sometimes it means you can finally reach for something even better. I learned this the hard way when I held onto a safe relationship, not realizing I was missing out on other happiness that could have come my way. Have you ever been scared to let go of what you know just to avoid the unknown? Here's another important point. The fear of missing out, or FOMO, is just a trap. It's like seeing everyone else's best moments on social media and feeling like you're missing something. But remember, social media only shows the highlights, not the whole picture. When I stopped comparing myself to others and started focusing on my own life, FOMO didn't bother me anymore. Do you often compare your life to others? It's time to break free from that habit. Not knowing every detail of someone else's life doesn't mean you're missing out. It means you're fully enjoying your own life and making special memories just for yourself. Believing in a false idea of happiness can make it hard to let go. You might see others living amazing lives and feel like you're falling behind. But remember, the grass always looks greener from far away. Up close, you'll see it has its own problems too. Trying to match someone else's perfect life can take away from your own joy. It's like running on a treadmill trying to catch a fake image. No matter how fast you run, you'll never catch it because it's not real. Letting go isn't about giving up happiness. It's about finding happiness in your own way. To get better at letting go of strong emotions, Focus on what you can truly control, your thoughts, actions, and personal growth. Picture your mind as a garden. You can choose which seeds to plant and which weeds to pull out. Just like a gardener cares for healthy plants and removes weeds, you have the power to grow positive thoughts and actions while letting go of what doesn't help you. Think about this. No one's opinion, past relationships, or even a shiny, perfect picture on social media should decide how much you are worth or how happy you feel. These outside things are like clouds that can cover the sun, but don't change the fact that the sun is always shining. When you understand this, you build a protective shield around yourself. This shield helps you stay steady and true to who you are, no matter what others say or what you see online. Letting go of these attachments doesn't mean you stop caring about what you once valued. It means you are freeing yourself from what holds you back. It's like cleaning out your closet to make space for new clothes that fit you better. When you let go of these emotional burdens, you allow yourself to enjoy new joys and build meaningful connections that life offers. It's a brave step toward creating a life that truly matches your wishes and values. So remember, letting go isn't the end. It's the beginning of a new chapter full of possibilities. It's a bold choice that leads you to the life you truly deserve. By focusing on what you can control and learning to detach emotionally, you make space for personal growth and richer experiences. Each step you take away from unneeded attachments brings you closer to real happiness and feeling fulfilled. Focus on the present and try not to get stuck thinking about the past or worrying about the future. Social media can make you feel anxious and upset. The past can hold you back, and the future can make you nervous. Seneca and Marcus Aurelius knew this and taught us how to manage these feelings to live well in the present. We've added a link in the first comment to help you handle these negative feelings and live a good life like the Stoics. Check it out. Rule number 10. Reframe your thoughts. Changing how you think can really help when you want to let go of strong feelings. Picture your mind as a painting, where every thought adds a different color to the picture. If your thoughts are dark and sad, your feelings will also be dark. Marcus Aurelius, a wise Stoic philosopher, said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." This means that if you change your thoughts, you can change how you feel and how you see the world. To start changing your thoughts, first identify the negative beliefs that are making you hold on too tightly to your emotions. These could be thoughts like, "I can't live without this person," "I'll never find anyone else," or "My happiness depends on them." These beliefs make you feel like you need someone else to be happy. The first step is to recognize these beliefs. Then, ask yourself questions like, is this thought really true? Do I have proof that this is correct? You'll often find that these negative thoughts are exaggerated or not true, which can help you feel less controlled by them. Once you've found and questioned your negative thoughts, replace them with more positive or neutral ones. Instead of thinking, "I can't live without this person," try saying, "I can find happiness and fulfillment on my own." Change. "I'll never find someone else," to "There are many chances for love and connection in the future." These new thoughts should give you a more positive and empowering outlook. To make these new thoughts a habit, add daily affirmations to your routine. Write down nice things about yourself and your ability to be happy on your own, and read them out loud each day. Over time, these affirmations will help train your brain to think more positively. Practicing mindfulness, like meditation, can also help. Mindfulness allows you to notice your thoughts without judging them, making it easier to change negative patterns. Ongoing practice of thought. Change. Changing your thoughts is like taking care of a garden. You don't just plant seeds and leave them. You need to water them, pull out weeds, and give them sunlight regularly. Similarly, changing your thoughts isn't something you do just once. It's a continuous practice where you keep challenging and replacing negative beliefs with positive ones. Imagine your mind as a beautiful garden where each thought is a seed. By nurturing positive thoughts and removing negative ones, you build emotional strength and resilience. This ongoing care helps you grow into a more balanced and confident person. Building emotional strength Just like your muscles get stronger with regular exercise, your emotional strength improves when you keep working on changing how you think. Imagine you are an athlete getting ready for a marathon. Every time you face and change a negative thought, it's like finishing another mile in your training. Over time, this hard work helps you build your mental strength and control how you react to things. You become better at handling stress and challenges, just like a trained athlete knows how to deal with tough races skillfully and confidently. Gaining confidence and clarity, as you keep practicing this mental training, you will find it easier to face life's ups and downs with confidence and clarity. Picture yourself sailing a sturdy ship through a stormy sea. At first, the waves might seem really big, but with practice and better control, you learn how to steer through them more easily. Your new way of thinking acts like a compass, helping you stay balanced and focused even when things get tough. This change in how you see things lets you face challenges with a calm mind, turning problems into chances to grow. Embracing a balanced life, in the end, practicing to change your thoughts helps you live a more balanced and happy life. It's like learning to dance in the rain instead of just waiting for the storm to be over. As you keep changing your thinking, you create a feeling of inner calm and stability. Your responses become more thoughtful, which helps you handle situations with grace and confidence. This ongoing effort builds a strong base of emotional strength so you can deal with life's challenges more easily and with more self-assurance. Rule number 11, set healthy boundaries. Understanding and setting boundaries. Setting boundaries. Setting boundaries can be like building a protective fence around your emotional garden. Picture a beautiful garden filled with colorful flowers and tall green plants all thriving under the warm sun. Just as a sturdy fence keeps out hungry rabbits and pesky insects that might munch on your plants, boundaries help shield your feelings from things that could hurt or upset you. If you struggle to say no or let others cross your lines, it's like letting stubborn weeds sneak into your garden, choking the life out of your flowers. You need to think about which behaviors make you feel happy and safe, and which ones feel uncomfortable or hurtful. Once you have a good idea of this, it's important to tell others what your limits are. Remember, it's not about being mean or bossy. It's about sharing what you need to feel good inside. When you stick to these boundaries, it shows that you respect yourself and that you're taking care of your emotional garden, allowing it to flourish beautifully without depending too much on others. Creating emotional space. When you set boundaries, it's like drawing a clear line between yourself and others. Imagine you're sailing on a peaceful lake in a little boat, surrounded by calm water. By placing a bright buoy around your boat, you keep the splashes from the waves out so you can stay steady and safe. Setting these emotional boundaries gives you room to breathe and helps you avoid getting tangled in other people's feelings. For example, if someone's actions start making you feel overwhelmed or stressed, it's okay to calmly tell them you need some space or a change in how you interact. This doesn't mean you're trying to push them away. Rather, it's like creating a safe area where you can relax and take care of your own thoughts and emotions. By establishing these boundaries, you maintain your own special space, giving yourself the freedom to feel light and happy without being overloaded by others. The positive impact of boundaries. Setting boundaries is a shining example of self-respect. It's like wrapping yourself in a cozy, protective shield that keeps you safe from emotional storms. When you create clear limits, you send a message to those around you that you truly care about your own needs and well-being. Over time, practicing this can lead to healthier relationships filled with mutual respect. Think of it as building a sturdy house where everyone respects each other's space and feelings, making it a warm and welcoming place to be. By making and sticking to these healthy boundaries, you ensure that your peace of mind isn't swayed by what others do or say. This allows you to focus on your own growth and happiness, leading to a more fulfilling and balanced life. Just like nurturing your emotional garden, boundaries help you thrive and find joy in every interaction with others, making your heart feel light and your spirit soar. Rule number 12. Use the negative visualization technique in Stoicism. A common and powerful practice for dealing with emotional detachment is premeditatio malorum, or negative visualization. This is a mental exercise in which you consciously imagine the loss of the things or people you love, in order to prepare emotionally for the adversities of life. Although at first glance this practice may seem pessimistic, the Stoics viewed it as a way to strengthen the mind and cultivate resilience in the face of the inevitability of change and loss. When we are emotionally involved with someone, it is natural to build expectations, nurture hopes, and develop a sense of security with that person. However, these expectations can leave us vulnerable, and when a separation occurs, the emotional shock can be devastating. Negative visualization helps us soften this impact, allowing us to prepare in a controlled and rational manner for the possibility of separation, either before it happens or even if it has already occurred, to better cope with its effects. Imagine, for example, the separation from that person as something inevitable. Visualize the details of this breakup, the absence of conversations, moments of loneliness, the need to start over without that companionship by your side. Do this without carrying judgments or negative emotions, simply as a mental exercise that simulates a possible scenario. By practicing this technique, you will be training your mind to realize that life goes on, even if that relationship comes to an end, and that you are capable of dealing with the absence. Negative visualization also serves another fundamental role. It teaches us to appreciate more what we have while we still possess it. When you imagine the possibility of losing someone, you begin to value the present moments with that person more deeply. This can bring greater clarity about the quality and true value of the relationship, helping to identify whether emotional attachment is genuine or simply a product of the fear of loneliness. Practicing the premeditation of adversities does not mean succumbing to pessimism, but rather creating an emotional fortress against life's unexpected shocks. By visualizing a separation, you are not condemning yourself to it, but preparing to face it with greater serenity if it occurs. You start to see the situation with more rationality and less despair, understanding that any relationship, like all things in life, is transient. The application of this technique is simple, but should be done regularly until your mind becomes accustomed to the idea that no relationship is guaranteed. Over time, you will notice that the fear of loss diminishes and your capacity to accept change increases. When an emotional separation becomes a reality, you will be better prepared to handle it in a stoic manner, without letting your emotions completely overwhelm you. By using negative visualization, you cultivate a mindset of acceptance, understanding, and serenity, which are fundamental pillars of Stoicism. Rule number 13, practice gratitude, the power of gratitude. Have you ever noticed how thinking about what you don't have can make you want it even more? It's like when you see a shiny toy in a store window and suddenly it feels like the only thing that could make you happy. But practicing gratitude can really change how you feel and help you let go of things or people that aren't right for you. When you take time to focus on the good things in your life and appreciate them, you start to feel like you have enough. Instead of feeling like you're missing out, you begin to notice all the wonderful things around you. Gratitude acts like a special pair of glasses that lets you see the beauty and value in what you already have, making you feel less like you need what's missing. A simple gratitude practice. For example, you can try writing down 3 things you're thankful for every day. These don't have to be big things. They can be simple moments like the warmth of the sun on your face, the laughter of a good friend, or the delicious taste of your favorite meal. By doing this, you're practicing a little shift in your focus from what you don't have to what you do have and can enjoy. It's a bit like planting seeds in your mind. With each thankful thought, you're nurturing a garden of happiness. The philosopher Epicurus once said, "Do not spoil what you have by desiring what you have not. Remember that what you now have was once among the things you only hoped for." This is a gentle reminder that we should cherish what we have now, instead of only wishing for things that seem out of reach. Emotional healing. Through gratitude doesn't just make you feel better emotionally, it also helps you handle letting go. Imagine you're carrying a backpack filled with rocks, each representing something you're clinging to. When you practice gratitude regularly, it's like removing some of those heavy rocks, making your load lighter and easier to carry. Letting go of things that aren't helping you becomes a little easier, leading to a more peaceful and happy life. life. It creates space for new experiences and joyful moments, allowing you to flow through life more freely. So, when you choose to embrace gratitude, you're not just filling your heart with happiness, you're also opening the door to new beginnings and brighter days ahead. If you're enjoying the content, see this next video with amazing wisdom for you.